Master Shaman Palai Chi coming to you live. Today I have a message that I wanted to share with all of you, and I'm hoping that you guys will listen in. If you do listen in, please spread the word. Please spread the message to those that needs it now. Go out and share this, like this. If you haven't already, go and subscribe. Um, I'm here today because of certain situations that I have gone into and had found more, more information, more clients has been coming to me in regards to, in the last month here, in regards to their mental wellness. Your mental wellness is very important, and it is something of a part of you that if you don't take care of, if you don't help yourself to get well, get better, then who else will? Who else is going to help you with your mental health? And so you're going to hear this from me today, Master Shaman Palai Chi, on this channel. And if you guys are new to the channel, go and subscribe, go and support the channel. I'm going to link down in the below if anybody wants to do a donation. You can do a monthly donation to the channel to help us grow. And this year, I have that goal of growing even bigger and better. All right. So go out there and on the chat, I think you'll see a chat there. Type in for me, Juju Chi. It's Friday, though I'm not doing the Ask Master Shaman Palai Chi today. I am here to give you a message for your mental wellness. Okay. And I'm going to open up my chat so I can see what's going on. All right. For some reason, I'm not seeing it, so there we go. So your mental wellness, I'm going to pull a card later on, but right now we're just kind of focusing on what is mental wellness and why is it so important for you. Um, Go out there and type in Juju Chi for me. I'm doing that right now as we speak. And just be real with yourself, because Warm Blessings, Mary and Moa, you guys are on. Warm Blessings, Juju Chi. One thing is letting go of your life. So this topic of having a better mental wellness is to get yourself in a more clear mind so that you're not being told, right, to do certain things, to be a certain somebody for someone else. And what I'm talking about is the negative energies. And you guys know me, if you've been on the channel or you've been looking through my videos, you understand that mental wellness is everything having to do with dark or light, negative or positive. How are we going to discern what is right and what is wrong? And how do we know when we did something and when we didn't do something on our own? Can we be responsible for that, right? And sometimes people who have a deep mental illness is not going to know if they're going through a paranormal activity through their body. They're not going to know that they did a certain activity, right? Even if that activity could be detrimental to them. Like, for example, if they feel it so much inside themselves, they don't even know why they don't want to live. They go and they take their own life, right? And I've just seen that this week, and it hurts me so much to see these young people doing that to themselves, thinking that their life is not worthy. So what put that into their mind? Sometimes people say that it's because they talked to somebody or they had a trauma of something, that someone said something to them, and then now it made them feel as though they are not worthy of living, that they aren't worth it. that life isn't worth it. That whatever they're doing, whether it's school, whether it's trying to go to work, whether it's trying to earn a paycheck day to day, that they are not worthy. If you are one of those people and you're listening in right now, I want you to know that you are loved by the universe and that you are worthy. And then no one else should tell you different. Please get that into your mind right now. And if you are in the right mind, you will know what I'm trying to say to help you let go of whatever trauma that has traumatized you, right? Traumatized you in your life, whether that was when you were young, for some of you, right? Lots of clients that I see every day, they are younger, they have been traumatized by whatever sexual molestation, maybe parents' neglection of them or neglecting them, and they were babysat by someone and then they got hurt. There was also other instances where they would go to the doctor. They had an issue or a situation, an incident that occurred with the doctors, right? So there's issues like this out there that is for real, right? And when I go through this, people come to me, the clients that come to me, they are not going to tell me this right off the bat. They come to me feeling hurt, feeling scared, but they want to know why their career isn't happening for them. They want to know why they are not able to get along in their relationships, whether it's a love relationship or whether it's a family relationship, right? Intermediate family. You're not getting along with people, right? So they want to know this stuff, but mentally, what has happened to this person, right? I go in and do a spiritual diagnosis, and it always comes to find, most of the time, comes to find that this person has some kind of trauma that could be either sexual or non-sexual. And that has happened and occurred to them while they're trying to work it out or cope with it throughout their life, right? They're trying to say, "Oh, I'm just going to brush it off and it's going to be okay. And I'm just going to live my life as though nothing happened." But it always comes back to haunt this person, right? It always comes back to haunt you and to then basically stop you from moving into a higher part of you, whether that is a spiritual journey or spiritual path, whether you're going on a shamanic path, whether you are, doing something for your health wise, you're exercising, you're trying to get your health into a certain state of health that you want, that you're looking for. But it always goes back to that trauma, right? If you haven't really gotten over it, you're going to try to get over it at a certain later date and time, believe it or not, right? And Moa says, yes, much needed to hear this. Thank you. I love all your topic. Warm blessings, Moa. So, mental wellness is your capacity to really discern with your brain. And if you're kind of off with your brain and you cannot discern what is what right now, or maybe you can mostly, but there's like maybe about 25% of the time you're sort of not quite there on your discernment. Therefore, to make a decision, whether it's 50%, 25%, or whatever percentage, it's going to be hard to try to make the right decision, right? What is the right decision? What is going to be the correct decision for your life when you come and try to make that decision if you are not able to be mentally there, right? That's like your engine, the fuel. That's the fuel to running your life mentally, right? Emotionally, because emotions is with the mentalness. So when you start to notice that you had a trauma in your life and you are not going to back off and try to deny it, you will face it. You need to face it either now or never, right? Because never is not never. Never is a later date and time. You will face that. Otherwise, it's the next lifetime that I find, right, with my past life regressions. We find that people start to figure out that they're going through karmic cycles in their life. They go through one thing, right? It's a cycle. And they meet it, then they fix it, and then they do it again, and then now they're going through another cycle. And it's another type of karma or maybe something similar. So, how do you stop this from happening? I just told somebody today that they need to say, I don't consent with the negative thoughts that are coming into my mind. You'll start to notice this if you are somebody that's very conscious. If you're not somebody that's conscious, you're going to need to be more conscious, be more aware of your thoughts, of your actions. If you did it 3 times and your actions was not great, what does that tell you? That means you need to stop doing it, right? If something wasn't good. But if something wasn't good and you thought that you were doing something good, but then you ended up feeling really bad at the end, well, then in your conscious mind, you're going to try to get to a consciousness. Your conscious mind is going to get you to try to get to the truth. And you're going to be living with a lie if you don't get to the truth now or later, right? So if you're going through a mental illness of any kind, so this is mental illness, just means basically that you're off in your discernment. You're not able to discern something very well. If I was to tell you, ask you a question, are you going to get healing for yourself today? Can you discern this? Can you say to yourself, so do I need healing or did I need healing? Why did she tell me this? There's something in between the lines that you need to start to read, and you really need to start to read this like now, right? With the way that our world is going, you need to start to read this now so that you can get yourself up to speed in your life, in everything that's happening around you. Start to be more aware, start to have a conscious mind of who's telling you what. Now, don't be overly analytical, but the conscious mind will stop this analytics, right? We'll start to say, here's the pure thoughts. Here are the thoughts that are supposed to be in your mind. If you can just sit with yourself for 15 to 20 minutes a day and meditate. If you don't know what meditation is right now, just sit there and go within, right? Your mind just goes within your mind, right? It just goes within your body, it just goes within yourself. Just focus on your breath work, like they say. That's like the very surface part. But once you go inside your mind, like I always say, right? Just think of this when I do my meditation teachings. I say, well, focus on this area. That's your third eye. Focus that there's a light there, right? And if there's a light there, then you just focus in that area the whole time. And soon enough, your mind's eye is going to go right into the center of your mind, in that centerpiece, right? Inside of your head. You don't know it, but you do know it because you've imagined before. You are able to imagine some things before. That's why you're able to create, whether it's artwork, whether it's something to say, because it's in that area, right? Around, there's a mind that is around the area, and then there's the area. The area that I'm talking about is your intuition, okay? So if you cannot get yourself up to speed on your mental wellness, you're going to think of yourself down. It's always going to be negative thoughts coming into your mind. So start to notice. If you haven't noticed yet, start to notice now. There's mentally, there's mental, how do I say this? War going on, right? A psychological war going on around you. For some of you, you're not sure what the heck that is. But a psychological war is everything that has to do with everything around you right now. It's causing you to have a mental breakdown for some of you. For some of you, you're not having a mental breakdown because you can get yourself together better than those that have a mental breakdown. But if you're having a panicking breakdown of some sort, whether it's work, whether it's not having enough funds or money, not being able, maybe a car broke down, maybe there's somebody that just passed away, and you're not quite sure how to get yourself together because you just got sparked with that news, right? I want to tell you that when you get those type of news, if you're in a mental wellness, your mental wellness is there, you will get yourself together and not panic and start to just do what you need to do to handle the situation. But if your mental wellness is not there and you've had a mental illness or you've had a trauma in your life that has not been healed or helped in some way, shape, or form, you will panic. You will kind of step yourself back and say, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm going to discern this of what I should do, because your mind is all then boggled up because it's afraid, you're fearing. For some of you, I want to tell you that you are worth it to live. Your parents had you, right? They worked hard to keep you alive, to keep you here. There's no reason why you should think negative about yourself, even when someone else tells you so. There's no reason why you need to let go of life, even if someone tells you so. Or even if in your brain, right, in your mind, there's something that tells you that you are not worthy. When something like that occurs inside of your mind, you need to ask yourself, what is this voice? Is it my own? Is it something else that I can't see, touch, and feel? Because it's intangible to me, right? So you go back into yourself. Ask yourself the question, what is telling me to let go of my life? If you are on the brink of this and you are listening to this video, you need to take yourself a step back. Don't ask me why, just do it. Because once you do it, take yourself back and you get a hold of your life. Hold on to your life. And don't listen to the negative words or whatever it is that's whispering into your mind. Do not listen to it. You take that moment, you take a step back, you wait. Just take a deep breath and wait there for a moment. And go back to the memories of the happy memories. Go back to what you can remember yourself as a child being happy. If the childhood was not happy for you, remember another time that was a happy time for you. If you tell me there's never been a happy time for you, then you need to imagine a happy time for you. You need to imagine the sun at your face, warm sun at your chest, because you are a child of God. You are a child of the universe. You are born into this lifetime to learn lessons. And if you give up on those lessons, guess what? You will have to relearn them again, no doubt. From all the past life regressions that I've done, I know well that you will get to relearn these lessons again. So if you want to change the karma cycle, then you better and best say that I don't give in to the negativity. I will not give in. Though it may seem fun at first, something that's messing around with your head, for some of you, you may think death is fun, that it's something that you just will mess around with, and you will think that, oh, well, if I go today, I'll just be a spirit kind of flowing around. It's not that easy. I've been there to that spirit world, and I've seen the spirits that has done that, has let go of their life, and they are not happy. They're not happy that they're gone, though they can say that they are because it's already over and done. But truly, they regret what they just did. And my message to you today is I don't want you to resent this lifetime, because this is the only lifetime that you and I are going to sit here and really pan this through. This is the only lifetime that you're going to hear this. The next lifetime, it's going to be someone else, or maybe ourselves again, right? But in a different form. If you haven't learned, you will hear it again, over and over again, until you are okay with that lesson, or until you say, oh, I've learned that lesson, and you actually take the actions to really do something about your mental health, or do something that shows that you're actually doing a good deed. Now, don't get me wrong. Those ones that have mental illnesses, they do good deeds. They try, and they want to do good, but it's really hard for them, because mentally they cannot really discern, or they think they have discerned, but they haven't discerned well enough to make the right decisions in their life, because something is always bothering them. Just more recently here, someone had a very bad trauma, came to me for some help in healing. Didn't tell me what the trauma was, but come to find that it was a very bad sexual energy, sexual trauma that happened when they were young. And I get a lot of those, right? And so when they had that trauma, they didn't know that they had the trauma. And this trauma was also very spiritual in essence. And being spiritual, the person does not know what the heck is going on. They kind of would feel that, but they don't know really what's going on. So they have a sort of a issue now, an issue with themselves, and they haven't paid attention to gather themselves together to heal that first. When they start to notice that there was an issue with themselves, that they had a problem. And these type of things comes along with demonic energies that would haunt the person throughout their life until they say no more, until they say, I do not give consent to this. And unless you say that, this energy of negative entity is going to continue to mess around with you, your head and body. And they will continue to make you and enslave you to do their nasty work for them. If you know anybody that has this type of energy, then you need to be able to say, hey, you need to get help. You need to be able to say, hey, I feel that you could use some help. Now, the person never wants to hear the word help or therapy or healing or counseling or anything like that. But at least you can just give them the gist, and maybe sometimes even spell it out for them, give them a card, something to say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Or maybe just take them out on a day and spend it with them and just be happy together, right? You ignore the fact that they have a mental issue, but then you just spend a fun and having some good talk, or a time for relaxation together, right? That's all you need to do. Because once because they're not ready to admit, they're in denial of their whole anxiety, depression, whatever it is that they're going through. They're in that denial. So are they going to admit to you that they have a problem? No, they're not going to admit that, period. The person that I helped just this week was pushed to me by his mom. And I went to take a look. I did the reading. He was in denial at first because it was a yes and then a no, a yes and then a no, and then I wasn't sure. But once you do a reading, you don't have to tell me your details, right? You have to just say, I just need help. And when I went into that diagnosis, the person was not willing to admit to some of the things that the information, the sacred information that came out from my spirit guidance, right? They were not willing to really say, yes, I was this, or no, I wasn't. It was kind of like unsure. And I said, the truth, do you really want to be freed from all this stuff, from all these negativity, all this negative energy and or activity that has been happening to you since a young age? Do you really want to be free? Because I knew that he was not telling the truth or actually just being in denial. So he goes, I do want to be free. Then I said, okay, well, if you want to be free, the truth is going to set you free. You have to admit to the truth. Once you admit to the truth, you will be set free. By the end of the session, guess what? He feels much more comfortable talking because he was ready for healing, right? He was ready to heal. He was much more open and admitting and wanting to face what he didn't want to face for a long period of time. I'll tell you this. If you know anybody that has something going on with them, don't tell them that, hey, I feel something going on with you, because they're not going to be happy with that, right? They would like to think that they are normal. They would like to think that they are just like everybody else. You can tell them that later. But once and for all, the first initial step is to just be giving them positive vibes, right? Giving them positive energy. You try to do that, you try to give that and see if they can open up to you. They will open up to the person that they feel that they can open up to, and that they feel like there's a secure trust in that. Most people that come to me will say that I wasn't really feeling trusting at first, though I trusted that you would help me. That's why I came. But later, after the session is usually done, they are just themselves because I become myself. I am myself to them. That's how they can become themselves. Genuinely, right? Juju Chi to all of you. Night Lotus says acknowledging is such a big step in healing and growth. Yes. First of all, if the person is not willing to acknowledge, then you need to acknowledge it, but you don't have to tell them that you are acknowledging it. But you can, at least if it doesn't feel like they're ready. If you are the one that has a mental illness, then you need to come to peace, right? You need to come to the truth. The truth may not always be at peace. The truth might be really bad and hurting. The truth might be that you are different from other people, but there is other people out there that's similar to you. And you need to know that that is the truth. You need to know that you're not the only one that is having anxiety over your job. You need to know that you're not the only one that is having depression over a relationship or no relationship. You need to understand that you are just like everybody else, and everybody else is just like you. There is going to be people with different karmic cycles, yes. But you are breathing, living, you have a flesh and blood, you're human, and that's what you are, right? And you're here to make a difference. You're here on this earth. You have been brought up with a lot of whatever your parents gave you, right? A lot of patience, a lot of help. Maybe you didn't have a lot of help and you kind of survived it all by yourself. Maybe you're one of those that has done it by themselves and became your own parent at a young age. But you're here. So why would you want to let go after all that hard work of helping yourself of trying to live like everybody else, right? Maybe you are tired of working and you don't want to do what you're doing. Well, go change your job. Go change, make a change. It's that simple. It is a decision, really. All it is a decision that you have to make. And if you are in a mental illness and you have been captivated somehow, some way by some demonic negative energy, you will not be in the right mind to make a decision that quickly. So what I'm saying is, in order to make a correct decision or a decision that will help you, then you need to be willing to help yourself and say and admit to yourself, I do have a problem. I understand that I do. And it could be a breakdown for you by just admitting that. But that's what you need. It's either you break down and cry and say that you do have something going on with you, or you hit a big wall. And then maybe you'll cry then. It's just devastating to hear about these young people in their 20s or maybe earlier, and they are taking their own lives. And I cannot ignore the fact that because there was neglecting, they've neglected themselves and others may have neglected too. But really, it goes back onto the person that they could not find this love for themselves, relying on someone else's love because they were not loved when they were young or didn't feel that love. Love is everywhere. If you're one of those persons and you're listening to this video, love is anywhere that you want it to be. It can be anywhere and at any place and time that you want it to be, but it's your decision to feel that love. If other people don't reciprocate it to you, well, you reciprocate it to you. The universe reciprocates it to you. That is why you are here and living and breathing still. And that is why you have an inch. I don't care how mentally ill you are. You have an inch inside of you. And I know this because I know you and I know those well. You have an inch inside of you that tells you, hey, I'm doing something wrong. Something is not right with me. You have an inch because you go back to your right mind. And you have an inch to think like this. But you maybe are ignoring that, right? If you continue on as life should be, how life should be for you, then it's not going to be in your favor at a later date and time that you will get yourself hurt or you will end up hurting other people. If you have a mental illness, you need to get help as soon as you can, as soon as you realize that. If other people tell you that, hey, I feel like this is something wrong with you, do not get offended and ask yourself, why do they say that? I don't even feel that about myself. Or why do they say that? Go and search upon your own inner self. Do a meditation. And if you are just mentally not there and you can't do a meditation, go to somebody that can help you release that trauma. And so that you can imagine again, so that you can let yourself envision a good life for yourself. Because what happens when you cannot envision a good life for yourself? You're then envisioning a bad life for yourself, or a life that maybe you don't want, but then you end up going into. Because why? Your mental capacity isn't strong enough. Don't get me wrong, it can be strong enough, but then you're not willing to work at it, right? Because you've been through a trauma. So some people might say, well, won't you feel sympathy for me? Well, yes, I'm feeling much sympathy for you. That's why I'm telling you that you need healing. But I'm also coaching you and helping you to wake up and say, Don't expect a pat on the back and say, there, right? There. But then I'm ignoring the fact with you. So ignorance is going to be something that is also not pure. If you are one that is also ignoring something right now in your life, you need to do something about it. Don't let it slip. I know it's easy to neglect, it's easy to let things slip because it will take a lot of work. Because you will need to do some things to help, or that person might need to do some things to help themselves. But ignoring it and not doing anything about it is going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt whoever else that's affected, right? Untapped potential, ESS. Yes. It's the potential that this person, the one that has mental illness, right? Or has been, and maybe it's not a really bad mental illness. So it's just maybe like they get angry all the time. They're not to the point where they have a truly bad mental illness that you can put like schizophrenia word type on them or paranoia word type on them, labeling them, right? Nobody wants to be labeled, but this is a way of communicating that something is wrong. And this certain thing is wrong with you or me or whoever. And if you admit to it, the sooner the better, and the sooner that you can help yourself. No one wants to be labeled, but when you have something, you acknowledge it. Maybe if you don't want to acknowledge it, then know that it's there somehow, some way. If you don't want to, if you don't like the word acknowledgement, just know that it's there, right? And then go and find and seek and find and seek and find. Find something that's going to help you, that you can resonate with, that you can help yourself to do. It just hurts me that I see this every now and then from different clients, and most ones have trauma that has never been dealt with, that has been hidden or just kind of blocked away in your brain, in your mind, and never told anybody, or maybe told a few close people, but never did anything to heal it, to really release the trauma. So this ES says untapped potential because this person does really have untapped potential. This person does have gifts and good abilities that they could have gotten to and they should be getting to. But because there's this type of distraction that is going to come in psychologically to basically dormant it, right? Dormant your gifts or make the gifts not be able to rise, not be able to awaken. So then your gifts can be there, but then they're really afraid to come out or they're dormant, right? So usually people with mental illnesses have very special gifts that they can't seem to get a hold of or get to. So it's very important that if you know people like this, to get along with them, but at the same time, if you're one that has the mental illness or has anger issues or anger management issues, or perhaps you just have relationship issues, you like a lot of women, right? And then you can't really stay with one. That's an issue. Maybe you like a lot of guys and you can't stay with one, right? Or maybe you just like one person and you're just really secure and you have to be secure with this person. Well, that's also an issue. So you have to have balance. And the way to start to do this, the way to start to self-help yourself is to really go in and admit to what is really happening to you. Then you start to admit what's happening here and there and here and everywhere. You start to be more conscious in your mind. Warm blessings, all things Nali. Thanks for popping up here. ES says the biggest thing for me was really recognizing the distinction between objective and subjective points of view. Many seem stuck in a subjective sense. Yes, you don't want to be in a subjective sense. You want to free yourself. You want to have focus in your life. Be objective. So when you go into a self or inner sacred space time, that's meditation, just another way of saying it. When you become and go into your sacred space and spend some time with your inner self, reflect upon what is true and what is not true. And then throw away the stuff that is untrue and come to self, come to knowing what is my objective? What is my focus? What do I want out of my life? I know that what I want, maybe I can't achieve right now, but there's ways I could do it. I know there's got to be ways. You tell yourself this because there is ways. Nothing is impossible. All right? So with this message, if you know you need help, then you need to reach out for it. You need to seek it, or else it's never going to come by. If you are not seeking the help, only the negativity or whatever the demonic energy in the shamanic way, right? In the shamanic aspect, we see demons that take over the person and their psychological brain, right? They are really in psychological war with the people, men or women, children, whoever, older people. You are going through a psychological war as we speak. So you must be willing to help yourself to discern better through inner work. You need to admit to that. Once you do, it's not going to be mumbo jumbo anymore. It's going to be, oh, I can discern this from this. I can know that this is right and that's not right. I can say no to negative entities that come into my mind and give me negative thoughts. And maybe negative thoughts are really bad and nasty sexual thoughts, because we've been there with some people as well, because they've gotten these instances and they want to do all these things. But if too much, then there's something that is not correct. If too much, then you are being controlled and being given these thoughts to do the negative actions that they want you to. Why are they doing that? So that they can suck the life out of you, drain you till you say, I give up. I don't know why I'm going. I don't know why I'm doing this and why this is always in my brain. You will ask yourself that once you are at overly doing it, right? Once you get fatigued from it, once you are doing it way too much and you notice that is way too much, overly unacceptable, and sometimes it just goes overboard, you're going to come and say to yourself, why the heck did I do that? Why was I in it so bad? This is when you come out of it. If you have very, very chronic, very critical mental illness, then you need very big healing, very big spiritual cleansing, right? Very big removal of negative energies. If you don't remove them, guess who ends up paying for them? You, because you're the physical essence. You're the physical being. Whoever and whatever is making you think negatively or think doing something that's way overly overboard on the negative side, right? Negative basis, it's going to hurt you in the long run. You're going to be the one paying for it, believe it or not, because the spirit, the demonic energies, they're just kind of there still and they just go wherever they want to. If you don't stand up for yourself and say, I don't want this anymore. I know who you are. You're making me do this. You can talk to it like this. Some people will say that you're crazy, but because they haven't also know what the heck they're doing as well. If they think that you're crazy, they don't know what's going on. They've never been through it. You've been through it. You're hurting, right? So you must make the decision of who's crazy and who's not. If you have gone through it, you need to get the help. The person that's calling you crazy, they somehow need help as well because they might be in denial of their own spirituality. They don't want to believe that there's something spiritual. They don't want to believe that there's something demonic. And we don't want to believe in ghosts or the paranormal activity, but it is around us. That is ignorance. And ignorance will get you to resent some decisions that you've made in life. With all of you here today, I wanted to say warmest blessings to all of you. Go back to your homes, go back to your partner, your children, your friends, whoever it is, and just go tell them that you love them. And just go tell them that as much as you can, whenever you can remember, right? I know people are busy, we have busy lives, but you need to go back and tell them, hey, I just wanted to tell you that I love you. And be genuine about it. And even if it feels like it's weird telling somebody that you love them, well, what is making you think that it's weird? Because you haven't done it enough, right? And if your parents hasn't told you that they love you, well, look at their actions. And don't be sad because they didn't tell you that they loved you. Because I know in many cultures, people don't tell people that they love people. And that's okay because you can tell by the gestures and just accept that. And you can be the one that starts that. You can be the one that tells them that because you wanna, not because you have to, right? So give me a juju chi out there. If you guys find that this has been helpful, go like and subscribe. I'm not wanting to make you do it. You have to do it with your heart. Like I always say, you be genuine, you be authentic, and that's where you're going to be getting right back to you. That's what's going to reciprocate back to you. Once you are saying to yourself, I only live for the truth and I can only live with people that are telling the truth. I can't stay or be with people that are not true and they're just kind of, faking things. Then you can definitely know what I'm talking about today. So bring this message back to whoever it is that you feel that needs the message. Maybe you can send the message to, right, in your own way. But always remember the root of wherever you got anything from and give it credit, right? The worst thing comes to worst is plagiarism, right? If you don't feel it and you're saying it, then it's not you. So you have to feel it to say it to be you, right? And that is where I'm coming from today. To you guys all that are watching, go spread the word. Go help whoever it is that you need to help today. Maybe it isn't that you need to help anybody. Maybe it is only that you need to help yourself. All right? Because I'm here today and it's Freeing Friday, I'm going to pull out a card, okay, for the weekend. Why not? It'll only do good. All right. Everyone take a deep breath with me. Warm blessings, Garnet Yin, Debbie Yang, Night Lotus, Miss Elvane. And if you guys don't agree with me, I don't mind if you type in the chat that you don't agree with me either. Because there's always justification for what is said and done, isn't there? So here we go. This is the card that we've gotten today. Okay. So independent. Your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. Because isn't this funny that most people that do not want to admit to something that is going on with themselves, maybe they're troubled by something, anything, whatever it is that they're troubled by. That they want they want to be independent, that they want to be independent from anybody else. But the independence that they're wanting isn't what they are getting, right? Because it says your independence is a foundation of your strength and success. What I just said today is go back to the inner self. That's a form of your own self helping yourself. That is a form of your independence. And once you can make the say that and the saying no to whoever it is, whatever it is that has judged you or given you a psychological attack that you deem that it could be a demonic attack, whatever, right? If you feel it, if you can sense it, then it's real. I'll tell you that. And your independence in that, in making that say, in standing up for yourself, is your strength, is your success, and it's not going to hurt anybody once you stand up for that. As long as you're in the benevolent, as long as you're doing it for the benevolence of humanity, of yourself, right? Because you're human. Why would you not help other humans on this planet? All right? This is your time. This is your lifetime. This is your chance to do the most that you can to get there. If there's a message that you've got to say, and you've been feeling it for a while, and you are prompted to say that, then go do it. Do it in grace, with grace, right? Do it with all your heart. And no one's going to put you down. And if they do, then they are not understanding you. And there still needs to be levels of understanding. And people all over the world have these levels, are on different levels of understanding. And that is something that you understand. Therefore, you will make the say, right? I'm going to stop here. Warm blessings to all of you. Give me that juju chi out there. Ia says it's a beginning. It is beginning at the root that the tree shall then bear fruit. Yes. Lu ho bong dan ji. Ya ko ya oda ji. Woka hu sha. Woka hu shi. Olin da na. Naya master shaman pa lai ki. Hai dia lu kwok ke do ne. Te dia lu ba ka ne. Sa ne lu da lu sha. Ka ne she lo. Ka ne she long. Ka ne she to na ma. Oli ya. Oli na.